Hello everybody and welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing a breakdown of the severe weather risk for portions of Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, Pennsylvania, and areas like that. So it looks most likely like a wind and hail risk. This is the hail risk right here. It's in a smaller little area, smaller little box. Then the wind risk is much larger. But it seems like we still do have a 2% tornado chance, and I think it possibly could be upgraded to a 5%, but I'm not sure about that yet. We're going to go ahead and look at the atmosphere right now and see what is coming into play. So this is CAPE models right now. Obviously, you can see, don't know why there's so much CAPE right here. What the heck? As you can see, we have relatively low CAPE models right here, but I think we're going to get some moisture that's going to appear out of nowhere pretty soon. Obviously, that's kind of what CAPE does. We're going to go ahead and look at bulk shear, which is very low, which interests me because I think, seeing as there is a slight risk for severe storms and even a chance for some supercells, I think a bulk shear will develop today and keep those storms sustained. Because I'm just really not sure where it could come from, unless like this area expands really quickly and goes down here in like the blink of an eye, but not quite sure about it yet. Although if we do go to helicity, we can see there is just a little bit more strong of an area of helicity right here, and the wind is moving this way though, so I don't know if that will hit this area that we're talking about right now. Let's go ahead and look at this. This is just a very strong area right here. I'm not sure about this. Anyways, if this doesn't come in, and which it doesn't look like it will, we'll probably see some development of more helicity, and which is actually pretty surprising because I thought, seeing as they have a 2% risk, I thought there would be at least something like 150 along this area, but no, maybe it'll develop later in the future. And as you can see, guys, this massive ridge that formed not that long ago is now starting to be flattened out by a trough, some cold fronts that have been coming in, like cold fronts along this area. So that's nice. I mean, certain areas of the North America, you're finally getting out of the really strong heat, although it's still probably going to be hot up there, probably not as hot as down there. As we can see, there is a cold front right here. This just headed through my area. This is going to go through this area right here, which is probably going to have some good moisture in it, and that's going to spark up these severe storms. Alright, let's take a look at the HRRR for today. Let's see. Oop, that's a little too early. Here we are. So, as you can see, nothing at 9 a.m. What a surprise. 10 a.m., 11 a.m. This is all in Eastern time zone, by the way, 12 p.m. 1 p.m. As you can see, something starts kind of sparking up. Maybe that shows that there could be some convection available. And then right about 2 p.m., 3 p.m., that's when things start popping up pretty strong. This storm right here is going to be in the supercell, or the 2% tornado risk right here. That thing is going to be probably in the highest risk for a tornado to produce. And like I said, it's going to be probably isolated and relatively weak. But who knows? I mean, this could be different than how it looks right now. Obviously, so we have some scattered storms developing. This is kind of looking a little weaker as it's heading into Virginia. I think that's Virginia. Let's see. So some of these storms right here look a lot stronger, and there's just going to be general scattered thunderstorms, and these could be they could have these potential to be severe. And as we're moving on, it kind of stays in the same pattern. And it does look like the moisture is kind of dying off in Eastern Virginia, hence the slight risk going out of that area. So basically, the main storm corridor is just in this area. That's probably where the moisture is developing. That's probably where the bulk shear is going to develop. So keep your eye out to the sky if you live in that area. As we can see, the storms are kind of coming into a line. We've got some extra storms developing here. They're kind of just everywhere. Like right here, this starts to get interesting. This could be severe also. Could have some hail threat. But I think the biggest threat for today is going to be flooding, actually, because of this constant train of thunderstorms coming over certain areas, like along here, could see some flooding. And then also, I think wind and hail could top that in certain areas. Obviously, we can see these storms are pretty strong. They could pose a wind risk as for this front right here going into West Virginia and Virginia. going through Maryland. That looks like it's going to be as far as we're going to go for now. Let me take a look at another model, see what those models are saying. Let's see, ESRL, this should be good. Here we go. That's good, yes. All right. Dang, this is a lot more, this is a lot more good looking. So as we can see, that storm developing along this area could be a supercell, could produce a tornado. That could be the one storm to develop that could be tornadic. We're gonna have to take a look at it, when and where the rotation will develop, the helicity. Don't know why my app is lagging. Sorry about that, everybody. And then we got our scattered storms developing up here. This thing getting bigger. It's slowly loading. So yeah, right here, this is going to be another chance for a supercell. And then we got our scattered storms here, could produce some hail. And yeah, like this whole area, this could produce a tornado, but I think the most likely would be maybe this storm as it forms, maybe back here when that first storm forms. I don't know, we'll have to take a look. And then they just come into this big line, and that's what I'm thinking right here. That line is going to possibly get some flash flooding. You're going to have to be pretty weather aware, and obviously we've got some scattered storms right here dipping into Ohio. And these develop into a pretty strong line of storms, as you can see. Come on, there we go. And then it all kind of forms into like this big system. And like I said, this big train of storms, it just keeps developing and keep going over the same area. That's definitely going to cause some flooding right there. And we could have some wind risk and hail risk in these certain storms. This is probably going to be more flash flooding area. These are probably going to be more severe in other attributes, although it still could obviously produce some flooding. And then it just really becomes just this big, like, wind and possibly even some hail risk. So yeah, that tornado threat is going to be there for a second and probably diminish pretty quick. But you could still have a non-supercell spin up in this area depending on the atmosphere coming into the later hours. And this is 10 p.m., so could have some flash flooding at 10 p.m. I mean, just look at the same train of thunderstorms going on for hours. Definitely could produce some flash flooding. And then it just continues to go on and then eventually diminishes going into the night. But yeah, so I think it's the early stages of these storms that is going to have the most severe risk. Like, this storm maybe could have a severe risk. Some of these storms back here, right here, that definitely could have a severe risk. And so I would keep your eyes out for that. And then after that, it'll probably be just some wind and some flooding. But yeah, I would say that is it. That's all I can look at for now. There is a severe weather risk tomorrow, slight risk, and it has a 5% chance of tornadoes over portions of Nebraska and Kansas. So I will be covering that most likely, depending on how it comes into play. But yeah, that will be for tomorrow. So thank you everybody for tuning in, and I will see you in the next video.